Okay, Frank, when I do this video, when I say control, it's your command key, I think, and if I say alt, it's your options key, and the shift key is the shift key. So the first thing we need to note is the last arrow you're on when you press control, it'll go to that arrow. So if I'm on the white, it goes to black. If I'm on the black, it goes to white because it's the last arrow. If I'm on the pen tool and the last arrow I was on was black, it'll go to the black arrow. If I'm on the white, it'll go to the white arrow. When I'm drawing, I usually like to be on the white arrow before I click the pen tool, just because it's easier to work with the white arrow. So control spacebar gives me this zoom option right here, so I can zoom in. And obviously control negative will zoom you out. And if you hold spacebar, you can move around if you click and drag and hold spacebar. So let's first start just with grouping concepts. So I'm going to draw a square. We're going to make it black with a huge purple border or something. Whoops. Magenta. And let's increase the size just a bunch. And I'm going to zoom in on it just so you can make more sense. So a good tool for copying and pasting is, say I want to make a rectangle border. I clicked one. I have the whole thing highlighted. I'm going to click this node. I'm going to hold the Alt button, and that's my copy. So I made a copy. I'm going to hit Control Z because I didn't want it there to edit undo. And those are your very important keys. Write these down. Edit undo works almost on everything. Control move almost copies everywhere, or Alt move. So we have it selected. I click the main body. I'm going to hold the Alt key. And see how it makes that little plus sign? Now we're going to copy this. I'm going to put it right here to where it does that. And I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to hit Control 0. Will make me full screen. Since I did one and it's still highlighted, so it knows that I copied from here to here, I can hold Control and press D. It's going to just keep doing it. It'll do it indefinitely until I stop. So now I'm going to highlight them all. I'm going to do it again from this line. I'm going to click it, hold Alt, put it down here. Oh, whoops. Well, whatever. I mislined it, so I'm going to Control Z. That was Control Spacebar to zoom in. So now I'm going to hold Alt. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to zoom back out, Control 0. See, and there's our grid. Now I'm going to keep hitting Control Z just to undo this. So that's the first part of just copying and pasting. It makes life easy. So let's say I got some ribs I want to put on there. There's just one. I'm going to grab the black arrow and I'm just going to hold Alt. I'm going to click it, hold Alt. Whoops. I'm going to hold Alt. See how it makes that little double arrow thing? I'm going to hold Alt and Shift to put it over in a perfect line. That way it always just travels on a perfect line. Whoops. So I'm going to let go. Now with it highlighted after I made that copy, it knows that's my last move. So I'm just going to hold Control and press D. And there's a fake rib. So I'm gonna group this. I'm gonna highlight it all with the black arrow and press Control G. Now this is a group. Alright, as I move as one. I'm gonna edit undo to show you that before I grouped them, they can move individually. So edit undo. I'm gonna highlight them all. Control G. Control Shift Z is redo. So I move it there and there. I can edit undo and edit redo with Control Shift Z. So I'm gonna make this. This is gonna be like your sock body, pretty much. So I'm just gonna give it an outline because the socks usually have some kind of outline on them, just to make it easier. So I copied that first square with Control C. I'm gonna hit Control F. I didn't tell you that, just to paste it on top. So now this is how the grouping works. So these aren't a group. These are a group. Alright. So I'm gonna hit Control Z to edit undo. I put that back where it came from. And I'm just gonna group these. So Control G. So now this is a group and this is a group. So say I wanted to paste this on top of this and say I wanted it right here. So to move in front or in back, you hold Control and press the parentheses. It'll put it in front of it or behind the groups, because it makes everything in layers based off your grouping. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to delete it. And now say I want to paste it in front of it. So I click that one. I just made a copy of it just to show you. So say I want to paste it in front of this one. I hit Control F as I have it selected. It'll paste it right there. So I'm going to edit undo. So I want to paste it behind this thing. I'm going to hit Control B. I'll paste it behind it. Edit undo. So depending on what group you have held is what layer it's going to paste it in front of. So now I'm going to hit Control F and it's going to paste it in front of that layer. But the only problem is that doesn't paste it into a group. See, so these are all still different groups. But now I'm just going to edit undo and put this back to where it was. I'm also going to... So now I'm going to get the white arrow, which I'm holding Control to get to my white arrow. And I'm selecting this body of the sock. I know it's the body of the square, but it's the body of the sock. See, now I can move just that body, and it's still a group, depending on what arrow I use. White arrow moves pieces, black arrow moves groups. So I'm going to edit undo what I just did there too. So say I want to paste that rib into this sock body. I use the white arrow, select just the gray body right here. So now if I hit Control F, it just pasted that inside the body, which is pretty cool. That's how I like fly through things. And then say now I'm like, fuck, I can't go through and click all of these to move them. That's going to take forever. And you can't move them with just a black arrow. We want to edit just this sock. So now we got the black arrow. We can double click into it. Now you are inside of that, and you can double click out of it too. We're gonna edit undo. So that's how you. And say I want to move just these, and I don't want to accidentally touch this. I can double click inside my rib group too, because these are all grouped in their own special ways. So now when I click out of it with the black arrow, it goes back to my original. And my edit undo kind of gets me into the groups before it does things too. So let me show you a cropping thing too when I do my ribs. So I clicked on the white arrow last, now I got the pen tool. I'm just going to draw a quick little ellipse. I don't know how you call this. Instead I didn't like this one right here, I can hold the Alt key now and I can fix it. But I'll go through that later. So I just switched that to the body. So now say I want this to fit inside of this this piece directly. What I want is just the body of the sock, which is now I held the white arrow, so I held Control, got the white arrow, clicked just the gray, and held, so I have just the body of the sock. I'm going to copy that. Control C. I'm gonna click the black arrow, paste it in front of this with Control F. See, so now I have this shape in front of this shape, and I want this shape to crop this shape. So I'm gonna click this one, hold Shift, click that one, go to this tool, which is the Pathfinder. If you do not have it, you gotta go to View, Pathfinder, wherever the hell it is here, and open that tool up. It might be under Tools too. It's here. Just if you can't find it, where the hell is it? I don't know where it is, but say you wanted to crop that. This is the crop tool. You can do a lot of other weird shit too, which I don't usually play. I usually only use the crop tool. There's other ones I use, but they're rare, like this one. But that's okay. So now I'm gonna crop it. See, now that fit perfectly in there. The only problem is it keeps the square with it. This basic outline. You don't want that there. So an easy way just to delete that is after you crop it, you go to the white arrow, you click just the heel. So now you don't have the heel select anymore. You have just that outline that was the original box. You can delete that. And now you want this heel inside of this group because it's not part of the group yet. So we're going to pick that, Control C, we're going to delete it. We're going to click just the body of the sock, not the actual outline. So that's the outline, and this is the body of the sock. And we're going to hit Control F to paste that heel in front of the body. So that's the basics of that. And now we're going to fly through this, and I'm going to draw a quick sock just to run through it with you. I like to work with my pen tool after I click the white arrow, and I'll show you why. So we're just going to start drawing the sock. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, Control Spacebar. We're going to click here. I'm just going to hold Shift just so I draw a straight line down. I'm going to click there, extend my little thing. Then I'm going to click here. And then we're going to click here and I do my toe, and I'm like, oh shit, that looks terrible. So now I can hold the control arrow. Since I'm on the white arrow, I can easily grab these while I'm drawing. And see, then I can click there and it just keeps going. So I want to, say I do that and I'm like, oh shit, and I want to edit undo it. I say Control Z, and I still just keep drawing without interrupting my actual sock. So now say, oh well, I guess I don't really like the way this one curves. So if you hold the Alt key, you can start the curve all over. It makes this little actual guide thing, or whatever you call this. And then if you want to move them, you hold Control, and you can move the actual points. I mean, so there's a lot of things you can do while you're actually drawing. Then say this curve's a little bit off, I'm just going to hold that and redo it a smidgen. And now we're still drawing, because I can still click and finish my sock. But look, that doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to make this just the outline of the sock. And we're going to make it a little bigger. Oops. Oh, whoops. I don't know what the fuck's happened. Alright, so I'm going to copy this, and I need a body for the sock. So I'm going to hit Control C. Nothing is grouped yet. I'm just going to paste it behind it with Control B. And I'm going to flip the colors so it fills it. And we're just going to make it a light one. Now I'm going to group these. This is my body and my outline of my sock. So we're going to group it. And now we need a rib. So I'm going to click my white arrow just because I like working with the white arrow whenever I'm doing things. So you can say I don't like this. I can just grab that real quick and move it down a smidgen. So now I'm going to draw my ribs. So I'm going to click and drag, or hold shift and drag all the way down. Oh shit, but it's got no fill. So I click the stroke thing and made it black. So now I want this rib to fill this in. So say I want it to be like right there. So now I have it selected. I'm going to hold the Alt button. See how it makes that double arrow? If I hold the shift, it'll make it a straight line. I'm going to let go. I'm going to make one copy. With that copy, it knows I did that. And I'm going to hold Control and press D a bunch, or just hold D till it goes all the way over. And there you go. But now all of these are not grouped together. So I'm going to edit undo. Say I want those as a group. I'm just going to hold with the black arrow, I'm going to grab them all. But I don't want to group with the sock group, so I'm going to hold shift, unclick that, and I'm going to Control G and just group my strokes. Now, are my ribs. Now I can move these by themselves and put them where I want. But say I want to edit them, it'd be easy just to double click into that group and edit it, or double click into this group to edit it. But that's irrelevant. But now we want these ribs to be a part of the group. Alright, so I forgot my bottom thing. So I'm going to select that, I'm going to copy it and delete it. And I want to paste it into this group. So I'm just going to double click into there and then hit Control F and it pastes it into the group. Or I could even use the white arrow and click it in there and then paste it in, but it was just showing you that way. So now it's part of the group because I pasted it inside that group. So now I'm going to copy these ribs. Control C and I'm going to delete it. So now with the white arrow, or I can double click into the group, or I can grab the white arrow to get inside the groups. White arrows get inside the groups, black arrows grab the full group, unless you double click into the group. So now I just double clicked into the group, and you can see that I'm in a group something. So now I can click there, and I can paste it in front of there. And now my rib group is inside this group. So I want to get inside this group. I can double click in there. You can see now I'm in a group inside a group of layer 1. So now I can grab all those individually with the black arrow. So I'm going to click all the way out of that. See, now this is all one group. If this is very confusing, just go through it. Just play with some of the shit I'm telling you and write down the shortcuts. So now this isn't centered, so I'm going to double click in here. I'm dealing with just this group. I centered it a little bit. So I want to move just this line. I can hold the white arrow. And I can move that line up really easily too. So I'm going to go inside here. I'm going to edit and undo. I'm going to get these ribs. So I'm going to click in there, grab that, Control C. I'm going to delete it. Instead of going inside the group to paste on something in the group, I can hold the white arrow or Control. Now I selected just the body of that sock. I hit Control F, And now I pasted it into that group. Black arrow grabs group, white arrow grabs pieces of group. So there's start of my sock. So let's draw a heel real quick. What am I doing? So we're gonna do that. I know it's, and we'll draw a toe too, just so it makes more sense. Oh, that's hideous. But look, I see that was hideous. So I can just hold control, click the white arrow, and there we go. So now, let me flip these around so that they're filled black. Now we're going to crop these so that they fit inside my sock perfectly. I want just the body of the sock. So I'm using the white arrow. I'm going to select it. I'm going to hold Control C. I'm just going to grab the body of the sock. So now I want it in front of both of these. So I'm just going to hit Control F. Control F pastes it in front of everything on the whole page, no matter what. If you're not selecting anything, Control B will paste it to the back of the page. But say I want to paste it in front of these, no matter what. If I'm not clicked it, it'll paste in front of it. But if I click just this one, it's going to paste in front of this one, but not in front of the toe, because I drew the toe second. So see, so now it's just in front of that one. But say I want it just in front of both of them, hit Control F, and there you go. So now we're going to crop this. So we're going to click this one, and then we're going to click this one, and we want to go to our Pathfinder, and we're going to crop. Using the white arrow, I'm going to unselect the heel, and I'm going to delete the rest, because you don't want that useless outline on top there, because it gets confusing later on. Now I want to do it the same to the toe, so I'm going to paste up the sock body in front of that toe. I'm going to click them both. I'm going to crop it. I'm going to use a white arrow, unselect just the toe. Now I have just this useless outline, so I'm going to delete that. It's just the crop outline. It's dumb that it does it. I don't know. Maybe yours doesn't do it, because mine does. Now we're going to add a gore. So, and remember that this heel and toe isn't grouped to anything yet. So using the black arrow grabs groups. The socks grouped, these are not grouped at all. Alright. I'm just gonna edit and undo all that. So let's group the heel. So I'm just gonna highlight it, I'm gonna hold shift and unselect that, Control G, now let's group the toe. I'm gonna highlight it, hold shift, unselect that, hit Control G. Now these are actual groups with the gores included. Edit undo, or edit redo, but edit undo. So now I want these actually to be part of my sock group, because right now they're not. So what I can do, I can paste them each individually. So I select that with the black, so I'm grabbing the full group, Control C, delete. Using the white arrow, I grab just the body because I'm grabbing inside the group. Control F will paste it in front of just that body of the sock. And then the outline will go over top of it, because the outline is on top of the body sock. So it's all based off layers. So now when I grab that heel is part of the group. So let's do it to the toe. Let's hold the black arrow. We're going to grab all of my toe. I'm going to use just the white arrow to grab just the body. See, if I use the black arrow and paste in front of it, just keeps its group inside there, because it doesn't have anything to go in front of. So with the white arrow, I'm going to grab just the body of the sock right here. So Control F. Now the heel and the toe are part of that group. Let's say you want to edit the gore of the toe. You can do this with the white arrow. Or say you want to edit something special with the heel. Let's add a rib right here. So we're going to draw a line. I'm going to hold Control. Oh, actually, it doesn't. I'm just going to go to the black arrows. I don't want to confuse you. So we're gonna do hold Control. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see. So I'm gonna hold Alt. Now I have this one rib selected. I'm gonna hold Alt. I'm gonna do a copy of it. Now I'm just gonna hold Control and D until it completes. So we want this to be a group. So I'm gonna grab just that, Control G. Now I have that as a group. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna delete it. I want it inside my sock group. So I'm gonna grab just the body of the sock with the white arrow, Control F. Now that's inside of that group. All this became one group real quick. And it's all in a cool layered system. So like if I double click in here with the black arrow, you can see these are all their own little groups inside of this sock group. So now let's say I want different things to be groups. Like I want my ribs to be a group. So I can group those. And I want my heel and toe to be a group. So I can group those. I double clicked inside the group that you can tell right there. And I didn't tell you that. So now this is all just one group, but inside these groups I got a group of ribs, I got a group of heel and toe. But say I wanted to do something with the ribs, now I can click inside the ribs, and now I have just the ribs, I can't select anything else. So say I don't like these, I hold the white arrow, select just these points, and I can do that. And there you go. When you do a text box too, you can select your text icon, draw a little box. Oops, hold on, just kidding. I don't know why my computer slowed down. Grab the text tool, draw a little box, and then you can type just like you're in a Word document. I'm just typing and pressing return. So that's about it. I hope that will make your life a little easier. Just take it slow. I went through a lot, and then let me know. All right, bye.